Good morning, you're Joshua Barlow,
Yes, ma'am.
and this is, 17-26688, and Mr. Barlow is on probation for the second-degree felony offense of possession of a controlled substance. That probation was from September 18th of 2017. There has been a motion to revoke that probation. It looks like it was an adjudicated probation. Sorry, I'm trying to read without going back and forth. Was it a 10 over 10?
It was a 10 over 10 and a 2 over 5, which obviously probably is expired.
Yeah, we're only here on that one. Okay, so it was 10-year sentence that was probated for 10 years. And so there's no bond that's been set. Mr.
Right.
Lewis has filed a motion asking that I set a bond in the case. Looks like the allegations in that hearing, or for the administrative hearing that went into that motion, were that Mr. Barlow has allegedly committed the offense of terroristic threat of a family or household member November 2nd of 2025 in Harris County, that looks like failed to avoid injurious or vicious habits. The defendant has allegedly previously assaulted the victim in the Houston PD case, in a Beaumont PD case, failed to gain permission to leave the county without permission when he was in Harris County, failed to update a physical address, did not immediately report the arrest to the probation department, tested positive for THC in March and April of 2025, and behind in his fees. Let's see, hold on, sorry. Mr. Lewis, you may proceed. Mr. Barlow, best you can, raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Judge, in this situation, of course, Mr. Barlow has been charged with this offense over in Harris County. His family has retained me to represent him over there. So what I'm trying to do is make sure it's not a situation where that case is just sitting while he's here. When we're dealing with this, I'm trying to make sure they get resolved at the same time. And to do that, of course, I would need him with me to appear over there so we can get something resolved. So I'm just waiting on the rest of the discovery over there. So I definitely would need him with me so we can try to get this resolved as soon as possible. Because I think a lot of the allegations, of course, in the motion deals with that particular date, whether it's the offense itself or the issue with the complaining witness or even the address. Because even with that situation, Judge, I believe a lot of that has been resolved already, because when he was arrested there, the initial thought was that he was staying in Harris County or living in Houston at that time, and which once that situation was resolved, they changed his bond conditions, because initially he was not allowed to leave Harris County. Once all that was sorted out, he was able to come back to Jefferson County, and he's been on bond technically for the past couple of months.
On bond for the Harris County
For the
case.
Harris County case, right. And of course, he went into custody as soon as this motion was filed. And a lot of that information I do need to get through their pretrial services over there. He is being supervised over there on the pretrial services. But again, a lot of that comes to me having him with me so we can appear. As far as the next court date, as soon as he bonds out, he'll probably be back on the docket over there within a couple of days. He is currently still on bond. There's not a hold for him over there. As far as the issue with the complaining witness, as of right now, as far as the bond conditions go, it's a no contact order in place with him and the complainant. And also there's a emergency protective order that's still active from this case as well. So any concerns with any type of involvement with him and her or anything at that situation, of course, those conditions there are available, plus any others that the court would deem will deem appropriate. And of course, any other conditions that the court thinks are best, either in situations for the monitoring of that matter, especially for any concerns there. I'm more than willing to comply with that. Now, there is one issue though with that, with the motion I just was thinking of, because previously, Mr. Barlow was given permission to move to Harris County. And to my understanding, I don't know when that ended or anything, to go back to where he's supposed to just be here, but he was given permission at some point to move to Harris County. For a few years now, he had been trying to find employment, suitable living over there for him and his family. His wife did, so that's why recently she went ahead and moved with her and the kids. He was still staying here with his family until he could get the appropriate permission to go, because probation, of course, was telling him he couldn't move to Harris County. But I don't believe the court may recall, but at some point from the bench, you gave him the permission to move to Harris County if he could find somewhere to live over there. This was a situation where he was receiving some threats of that things dealing with the murder case that was from a few years ago. And that's when we approached you and talked to you about modifying at that time.
Okay, I need some more information. So where does, hold on a second. Where does, is it Brajan? Brajane. Where does Brajane Foster and your children live now?
My Brajane Foster work at Roman Home.
I didn't ask where she works. Where does she
live
live?
in Houston, and my kids live with my mom, and I was taking care of the kids.
Where does your mom live?
She just moved to the address. I don't know the address.
What town?
Beaumont, Texas.
It's 320 Caldwell. It's 07, it's a zip over here.
What's mom's name?
Julianne name.
Spell it.
Drew, middle name ANN, last name MANNING.
And she's actually here in the court if you need anything from her.
Okay. And she's willing for him to live with her
Oh, yeah.
if he makes bond?
Oh, yes.
Miss, and just for the record, I am reviewing the administrative hearing packet that I was sent before the motion, which also includes the probable cause affidavit for the Harris
Yes,
County
ma'am.
offense. So I do have at least what the probable cause affidavit states for the underlying offense over there. In addition, included in that was another probable cause affidavit for a similar offense against the same complainant back in 2022 here in Jefferson County, Texas. So it looks like there's been, that's what, when I read out that allegations in the motion, that this has been an ongoing issue, it appears. Ms. Malfino, what is the state's position?
Judge, I certainly take Mr. Lewis at his word and appreciate everything he's done with respect to the Harris County cases. Due to the fact I've been in your court for so long, I know this defendant, and I've filed several motions on him myself.
I'm looking back.
And when I reviewed the entirety of his MTRP file, including the motions that go all the way back almost 9 years, and he's given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, that's what gives me some hesitation and some pause on him being granted a bond. Certainly, it would be helpful for those offenses over there to be resolved. It would probably be easier to resolve them there than me require those people to come here, which I would be happy to do. I don't know their level of cooperation, if I would be successful at that, but my hesitation is just with the entirety of Joshua Barlow's file, not just the singular incident.
I don't disagree. So what's the status of the relationship with Brajane?
That's my wife, and we don't have any bad times. It really was. She had gotten a wreck with my car, and I paid for my car to get fixed, and
Okay, I don't need all the,
Oh, I don't,
so your intention is is to remain married and, because at one of these things, something that I just read, she stated to an officer that she had been trying to get a divorce for some time. Is that not?
no, that's not. She requires for me to call her every day, over the phone so she can talk to my mom with the kids and things like that while I'm in jail.
And Judge, I can just say from what, I have had a conversation with the complainant to where, and what she's explained to me, that's not her wishes. You know, they're trying to work through their issues and still be together.
Sounds like y'all had a long time to work through issues, and at some point I gotta protect people from themselves.
Speaking from the young,
Not right now, I'm reading.
yes, Mr. Apologize.
Um, I guess what I'd like to know, you haven't had an opportunity or reached out to her?
Just because it was just set for bond.
Right. I
But I
think,
will.
yeah, I guess part of what I would like to know, and it's not that it matters necessarily if you have the, my concern is this continued relationship.
Right.
And so if I give him a bond and he gets out to go to Harris County, that gives me concern. Because part of the condition of the bond would be to remain as far away as possible during this pendency from her.
And Judge, that's why I brought up the issue that there is a no contact in place right now, as well as the emergency protective order, which
That'll
expire in.
Is it 90 days?
Yeah, I think it's 90 days. It should be close to expiring, you know, but then of course the no contact will be in place. And that no contact includes not just her, but the actual physical address of where she lives.
So is that 6604 Belfort Avenue?
No, ma'am, it would be 12244 Harmony Street.
What was the name of it?
Harmony,
Armony?
yes, ma'am.
Like AR?
A-R, yes, ma'am.
M
M-A-N-D-Y.
Armady.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's in Harris County?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's where she lives right now?
Yes, ma'am. The judge said I can't go nowhere near that.
Are you ordered to stay away from a place of business?
Yeah, and I had ordered not to go by a job,
Which was Memorial?
which was Memorial Arm and Brain Surgery.
Is that downtown in the medical center?
Yes, ma'am.
So does she come here and see the kids? How does that work with your mom?
She probably have came once or twice. I don't know. I've been in jail. But I
When
was
you
taking-
weren't in
I was
jail?
taking, no, she wasn't. I was just taking my daughter to school and take care of the kids with my mom. She wouldn't have had nobody watch the kids when she was at work, so she left me to keep the kids.
Okay. Over there in Harris
In
County?
Beaumont. The kids are in Beaumont with me, but she didn't have nobody to watch the kids while she worked in Houston. So I had to keep the kids.
But you had been, so when this thing happened over in Harris County, she told them that y'all had been living at that Ormondy Street for about 2 months. So you had gone over there with the kids and were staying with her on
I
Ormondy?
understand it was this time to where I have to get the kids for her and bring them back for her and go right back to Beaumont. I was trying to help out with her job. I wasn't moving out there because I was waiting for the probation officer to give me a okay that I can go to try to talk to you to transfer, because they told me they had switched me like 2 or 3 different probation officers at the time.
Well, you're not going to Harris County.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
That's not going to be an option.
That's okay.
So what I'm going to do is grant the motion and set a bond. I'm going to set the bond at $50,000. Condition of that bond, if you make it, is that you will be required to live and be, were you working anywhere?
I had a job, I get disability, I got rods and pins in my leg.
Okay. So you'll be required to be on house arrest at 320 Caldwood, Beaumont, Texas, except for court in Houston. And you will be required to give probation department here. If you make the bond, you're on probation. You'll get an officer here. You need to go see them, talk with Mr. Lewis. And then Mr. Lewis can get proof of a court date, send it to them so that they know that that's where you're going. If you're going to Harris County and that GPS shows you going anywhere else other than straight to court and straight back, it's a violation. You're going to be back in custody. You are now on my bond and on the probation, if you make it, the bond, also ordered not to have contact or communication with Brajan other than by phone for the kids. I would rather your mom make those arrangements and talk to her and you not even speak to her. You cannot allow her, if she's going to have visitation with the kids, you need to be gone. So if she's going to come here and see the kids at your mom's house, you need to go talk to Mr. Lewis so he can talk to me so we can find somewhere for you to go because you're supposed to be on house arrest. So it's a whole thing, right? But it's all so that you have no contact with her. Also, you cannot, if the GPS shows you're getting close to Memorial Herman instead of the downtown Memorial Herman, it's part of your bond that you can't go there here also. So you've got 2 cases, 2 judges telling you what you can and can't do. You better abide by all that or you're going to end up in custody with no bond again. Okay? All right.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Would I be able to work a job?
Talk to Mr. Lewis because I would like for you to work if you can here locally, but you need to have permission to do that. Permission if you find a job over the phone or if you know some people and you can get a job, he can contact me. I'll talk with Ms. Malfino if I approve it. If you have certain place you need to go for an interview or something, then I would like for you to work, but for now, until you have some specifics where you're going, what you're doing, then it's house arrest without that permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right, you can go back with the bailiff.
Thank you.
Robert Lowe, Ms. Holmes.
We redid paperwork on him, to do a cap.
Okay,
So Judge, because it didn't, generally I would send the dismissal, but I didn't know if you wanted to take some time with this, or if we were set
Yeah.
this. We'd done it before and it got rejected, so I didn't go ahead and do the dismissal.
so if it's a cap, I didn't get a precedent, I already
We
have
have
a
one.
precedent.
But it was
report.
for deferred probation, it was
Right.
rejected.
And there was a memo,
And then the sister sent the memo.
Yeah, I can take a minute and kind of refamiliarize myself with that if y'all want to do it today, or do you anticipate, do you want a week or two to come get anything that you want together for me on sentencing since it's a cap now?
Yeah, that week should be
best for,
fine.
whatever's best for the court that week.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm just gonna, that way, and just remind me to look at that again for sentencing. We don't need anything updated. He's been in custody the whole time.
Right.
So let's just reset it a couple weeks at the most. And so, Mr. Lowe, I'm just gonna reset your sentence, your case. Let's go ahead and go through the pleas though today, and then we'll reset it for sentencing, but without an updated pre-sentence report. We'll do it that way. All right, give me just a second. And I've rejected it, so we've got to go through all of it again, so. And again, you're Robert Lowe.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Holmes, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment in each case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's see, we're going on
The
this
first
one.
three,
First three, Judge.
6061.
6061 and 62. Okay, 60. So I know we've already done this, Mr. Lowe, but because I reject that first plea agreement, then we have to go through it all again, just like if we had not done it before, all right? So in cause number 19-32660, you're charged with a third-degree felony offense of possession of child pornography from June 4th of 2018, and how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, and because you did what they charged you with? And then in cause number 19-32661, you're also charged with a third-degree felony offense of possession of child pornography from June 4th of 2018, and how do you plead to that charge? And again, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, and because you did what they charged you with? And then finally, in cause number 19-32662, you're charged with the third-degree felony offense of possession of child pornography from June 4th of 2018, and how do you plead to that charge? Sorry. And again, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, and because you did what they've charged you with? In all three of those cases, I have here on the tablet some documents that have your signature on them that the state has marked as exhibit number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Ms. Holmes?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you've made with the district attorney, that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
And it looks like the agreement that you've reached is for a cap of 6 years in prison, which means if I follow the agreement, I cannot give you more than 6 years. I could give you 6 years, I could give you less. It'll all depend on any other information that's brought to me and the information that I already have when we come back for sentencing. You have an absolute right to have a jury determine 2 things. The first is to determine if you're guilty or not, and then if they find you guilty, you could leave your punishment up to that jury. If we go forward this way, you're waiving that right and you're leaving your punishment up to me within that range of the cap. And is that what you want to do? Okay. And do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law? State tenders number 1 in each case.
No objection.
It's admitted in each case. Is there any evidence that Mr. Lowe is not competent?
No, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of guilty in each case freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of those pleas. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, I'm going to reset your cases for sentencing just so that we can all get back up to speed on it. If there's any other information you think is important for me to know, get that information to Ms. Holmes and she'll present it to me on your behalf when we come back. Also, it is part of the plea agreement. It looks like that the state is going to dismiss cause numbers 19-32663, 32664, and 32665 as part of that agreement. All right, we'll see you back at sentencing. You can go back with the bailiff. Yes, sir.
There's no chance I get probation?
It's still an option.
That's still an option?
Yes,
I
it's-
misheard.
You can get anything from 6 years down to 2 years. Probation is on the table, or you're legally entitled for me to consider that, yes.
No, I just misheard. That's why I was asking.
Okay, yes, sir. You can go back with the bailiff. See, Mr. Lewis, you have David Dartez.
Judge, on Ortiz, we have an agreement on him, so I wasn't sure if I actually did the right paperwork. It's just
It's MTRP, so it could have just lined through that first page.
I'll mark through the first, and actually the top of the second as well on MTRPs. I always mark through them if y'all don't.
I wrote MTRP.
That's perfect, thank you. Good morning, are you David Dartez?
Yes, ma'am.
And will your client waive the formal reading of the motion?
He does, Judge.
Mr. Dartez, in cause number 22-39677, I have a motion to revoke your unadjudicated probation. Shows that you were placed on probation July 11th of 2022 for the offense of theft of property, a third-degree felony, and that was a 6-year deferred probation. Is that correct?
Yes,
The motion alleges that you violated your probation. Count 1 alleges that you failed to report to the State of Louisiana Community Supervision and Correctional Department March, April, May, June, July, and August of 2024. And is that true or not true?
yes, ma'am, it is true.
Okay. Count 2 alleges that you failed to report by mail or online to Jefferson County, Texas, October, November, and December of 2022, January through June of 2023, September of 2023, and then November and December of 2023, and then January through September of 2024. Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am, that's true.
Count 3 alleges that you provided a urine sample October 10th of 2024 that tested positive for marijuana. Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am, that's true.
Count 4 alleges that you failed to provide verification of performing the community service hours as required. Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am, that's true.
Count 5 alleges that you failed to provide verification of completing the theft prevention class. Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am, that's true.
And then count 6 alleges that as of October 10th, 2024, you were $650 behind in your fees. Is that true or not true?
Yes, ma'am, that's true.
Did you enter your pleas of true to counts 1 through 6 freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
And because those counts are true.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I have here on the tablet some documents that the state's marked as Exhibit Number 1. Before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you fully understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand if I follow this agreement that you'll be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
And it looks like the agreement is for me to continue you on probation, likely extend, and order that you enter and successfully complete ISF. Which program?
Cognitive track.
And probation's here. Thank you for being here, sir. Is this also what you believe would be appropriate for Mr. Dartez?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. And so is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
State tenders number 1.
No objection, Judge.
It's admitted any evidence that Mr. Dartez is not competent.
No, Judge.
Any reason not to go forward today? All right, Mr. Dartez, it looks like everybody is willing to work with you and give you a chance to be successful on this probation.
Yes, ma'am.
The number 1 thing is you got to show up.
Yes,
You've got to do your reporting online and in person. It looks like you tested positive for marijuana one time, which is obviously we don't want you doing, but we don't know what you're doing if you're not showing up. So in my opinion, you probably were doing that a whole lot more and just not showing up. If you continue to violate and not show up in person, not show up online, test positive again, and you're back in court on a motion to revoke, it's not going to go this smoothly. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to find that you entered your pleas of true to counts 1 through 6 freely and voluntarily. Find those counts true. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty and revoke your probation, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to continue you on probation. I'm going to extend your probation by 2 years. You didn't show up for a while, so you're going to get more probation. In order that you enter and successfully complete the ISF cognitive track. And then it sounds like some type of aftercare, substance abuse, depending on where he is, would be appropriate. So if he's back here for some reason, JCDI. If not, and he ends up back in Louisiana, some program like that for any type of drug issues. So I'm handing you the trial court certification that shows this was an agreement that I followed, and so you've waived your right to appeal. All right, take advantage of this. All right, good luck to you. You can go back with the bailiff. And you,
Mr.